It's neither here nor there because Mark Stein, a reporter, came out yesterday and basically said that KD showed interest in the Knicks, right? And the Knicks did not reciprocate the offer. They basically said, no, thank you, gets to step in. My question to you guys, man,
Sheesh.
my question to you guys is, we need some help. It looked like it could have been possible to obtain him. Is this a Leon Rose Worldwide West saying no, thank you?
No.
We don't want to give up the assets for you. We don't want to extend you. We don't know what it's going to take to get you. We don't have the draft capital, or right, or is it James? We know James Dolan is petty. You know what I'm saying? I say KD would be great on the Knicks. Rod, you seem like vocal about this. Talk to me.
So it's probably, in all likeliness, because Leon Rose has been doing the smart moves for the team. It makes sense to either pursue a KD because it will cost less to get a great talent, alongside of, if there's probably a path to get KD without giving up Cat easier than just going after a Giannis or something like that nature. So if it's not being pursued, it definitely sounds to me more like a James Dolan move. This is the man who still doesn't let Charles Oakley into the building. That hasn't been even resolved. That's somebody who already contributed towards your organization. Jay actually familiarized me on why KD even said what he said. I'll let him, piggyback off of it later on. But yeah, KD said what he said. But KD's also known for saying spicy shit to the media in general. That's his. Him and the media just don't get along. He's not a good soundbite guy in general. So I would think that it's more James Dolan feeling like KD saying the Knicks is corny. Nobody wants to go play there anyway because KD was in his bag about something else that was said. And he's responding to that. And that's the soundbite that gets out there. But if the guy wants to come to New York, and it's like I said, it's an easier path to get a talent like KD. Although he may be a little long in the tooth or a little up there in age, he might be a little bit more weather. He's still got a window where you're going to get high basketball play out of a talent like that, where you could legitimately run without even having to give up Cat. Like there may have been a window where you could keep Cat alongside of KD, and it would have been a good look. So to answer, short answer to a pretty long topic. Pause. I would say that's probably more James Dolan than Leon Rose.
One, you're right. I think we absolutely could have used KD at this point, even at 36 going on 37. Like you said, he's a certified bucket, and he makes buckets in the fourth quarter when we need him. When we have those times where we go on those various droughts where you're seeing a lot of activity and not much accomplishment, KD would be perfect in that moment because he can create his own shot. He's got the three-point shot if it's necessary. He's 6'11". He can dribble the basketball. Whatever he really wants to do, there's not really much of an answer for his style of basketball. So we'll just start there. Second part, to piggyback on what I said, a long time ago, not a long time ago, a few years back when we were supposed to be courting KD after the Achilles injury before he went to Brooklyn. We didn't even make him an offer. I don't remember that, but we never even extended an offer to KD, and that was James Dolan saying that he didn't feel that he would be back to what he was, and he didn't want to pay for what's called damaged goods. Back then, you got to look into that.
That was an official press release.
Yeah,
I heard that. Not to cut you, but I heard that it was all but done, like through back channels. You know what I'm saying? That they was expecting. They was like, he was mad because he thought for sure, because deals get done all the time. Handshake, wink, wink, deals get done all the time. I heard that they thought for sure that it was a done deal, and at the 11th hour, he switched it up and went to Brooklyn. I don't know.
That's what I heard as well.
Because of Dolan never presented the actual offer. Like he held back on the offer because he felt that he was damaged goods. Okay. KD took it personal and decided to go in a different direction. And again,
Jay with the scoop.
These that was all speculatory. I believe in the sources that I was hearing that from back then, and this a couple years back again. But to fast forward through time and space, right now, I think that it's more of a James Dolan type of a thing because those statements went out, like Ross said, after that shit happened. KD, he's very vocal. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He don't hide from nobody unless he's using a burner account. But yeah, but for the most part, he pops his shit. He says what he wants. He doesn't really have
he don't got hair on his tongue.
Yeah, so he just goes for it. So he said those things, and it's possible. But I also think that it's also possible that we don't really know the context in which the Knicks said they weren't interested. It's possible that there is an interest, but the conversation that went back and forth with Phoenix was that the ask might have been just too great, and they were like, "We're not interested in blowing up the whole shit to get a 36 going on 37-year-old. It doesn't fit in with our plan of what we're trying to accomplish moving forward." So we don't know the context in the way it was said. I know Stein came out and said that they have no interest in KD. I don't believe that that's the case. I think that there was something more to that triggered them to say that they're not interested in it, like maybe the possible construct of the deal. But again, we don't know. We're kind of just.
I say this has got to be one of the most heartbreaking moments for Knicks fans. Like, I mean, think about that. KD, as far as the reports are saying, KD tells us that he wants to come to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, we don't need you. We don't need KD. Mm-hmm. What's going on here, man? Like, all right, so what Stephen Smith is saying, like, he's still, James Dolan is salty because the way, like you were alluding to, that KD in the 11th hour broke away and went with Brooklyn. But, bro, this is business, man. Like, let that be that. Yo, that's funny. I was watching Stephen Smith and Molly was on there. You know the chick, his co-host? Mm-hmm. Molly, right? So she took the woman's approach. She was like, well, it's like a girl, I gave you a chance before and you didn't want to get with me and now you're coming back. Man, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? We had the chance to get KD and y'all talking about some feelings? Ah, man, this is... I'm not even that much of a Knicks fan. This is heartbreaking to me, man. What are you guys feeling, man? You guys are more diehard than me. I know this has got to be like
you're a Pacers fan. I don't even know why the fuck we talking here right now, to be honest.
You were tight Halliburton in school last night.
But more than anything, I'm a basketball fan. More than a Knicks fan, I'm a basketball fan. I love basketball. And I think the Knicks just fumbled on this one, man. Like, this is our chance at the title. Bring him in for 2 years, man. Let him retire here, because he ain't got that much longer, right?
I don't know. We'll see.
2 years and 6 years. Aaron Russell just said.
Put it this way: I don't want him more than 2 years. I don't want him more than 2 years.
Million. KD's still eating.
He is. That's 60 million a year is
like
pricey to me. That's a pricey. That's a heavy price to ask.
But yo, you just gave your head coach $30 million to sit on his ass.
Oh, listen, I know we're not going back to that conversation, though. I know we're not.
No, he was. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Hell, I'm with you. I would definitely listen. Like you just said something, and Q, I'm gonna go to you too. The championship window. I hear people say, "Oh, it's like got 4 or 5 years." No, we don't. It's to me, it's a 3-year window tops. That's in my opinion.
I think two. I think it's a 2-year.
All right, so 2. Okay, I agree with that too. Let's push all the chips in the middle of the table and get your boy Cash a chip already before I'm done. Ski. Q, holla at your boy.
Yo, I think it is Dolan a little bit, man. And I know we're not speaking about the Tibbs thing, but look, what I mean, that like now it's starting to kind of come into fruition where I feel like Tibbs made Dolan made the reason to fire, Tibbs, and I feel like he also made the petty reason to not want KD. I'm pretty sure Leon Rose is a smart man. Now we've been saying Leon Rose has been making obviously decisions that he need to make. So if it came down to Leon Rose's decision, then obviously I would put my faith in a bucket, be like, all right, fuck it, this guy's actually got a plan. Right, like he knows something that we don't, obviously. You know what I mean? And we all know that KD does get hurt. The numbers match up already. We know Kevin Durant is a better scorer than Karl-Anthony Towns, but Karl-Anthony Towns played really well last year, surprisingly, probably like his best season of his career. You know what I mean? There was speculation it was because maybe it was under Tibbs again. You know what I mean? It being that he played under the Timberwolves in the past, but do we really want to look like the New York Knicks team? That's the fifth team that Kevin Durant has finally come to, which became another super team to try to win a chip. Like, is that what we want to like? And I think that's what Leon Rose and World Wide West are kind of like sitting back and thinking, like, aside from the fact, is he even gonna play is he gonna really actually do what he needs to do to actually help us get it to the chip. And right now, with that uncertainty, when you have that little bit of uncertainty, you're like, damn, bro, this is a big decision to make. I'm gonna pay this guy a lot of money, but if we don't win the chip in 2 years, yo, we basically have to start all over again. But if we do win the chip, then yeah, I fucking look like a genius. But now I also look like the team that went to go grab the guy that been moving to all these other teams to try to win a chip and only did it once. You know, he only did it with the Warriors. You know, he tried, and he did the same thing he tried to do in the Nets. He tried to do it again in the Suns. I think if he would have stood, I think KD's legacy would have been way iller if he would have stood in OKC with Harden and Westbrook, because he was there for like, what, 8 years? They could have definitely won like 2-3 chips if those three gentlemen would have shut the fuck up and had the mentality of just like, yo, let's win. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure
because it was a super team organically.
Without even realizing of how good they were going to be.